Good evening, DBX here. Doing another quick video today, hopefully. I'm going to be doing a bit of mixing. I'm going to mix up a 10ml bottle. It's not a 10ml bottle, it's a 30ml bottle. But I'm going to mix up a 10ml batch of an 18mg honey and lemon flavour and see what happens out of that. And I've lost my sheet already. In the description I will have this concoction. I will have the measurements and everything for it if you want to try it yourself. It does make an 18mg batch, 10ml batch of juice. We do get your syringes. I'm going to do as best as I can here and try and get 3.6 mils of nicotine. The nicotine I'm using is a 50mg per mil nicotine PG. So this will be, I forgot to add the mix, is going to be a 70-30 PG VG. So it's going to be a lot of PG in it, and that's fair enough. So it's slightly waterier, it doesn't make it gum up so much. Don't really need to use these added bits on the needles on the syringes, but sure, there you go. So that's 3.6 milligrams or 3.6 mils of nicotine. We add in the PG then. I'm putting in 2.4 mils of PG, of exact PG mix. And this is just PG on its own, no added extras. 2.4 on the button. Boop. Here. Now, I get another syringe, and this will be the tricky part because the VG is very gooey. We do 3 mils of this. As I said, it's very gooey. I think I might try without this needle top because it's just not coming into it. Stick it in and get, there we go. Let's open it up there now. Excellent. 3, this is the gooey stuff, this is the heavy stuff. It just kind of, it's like a syrup. And until it's actually mixed in properly with the juice and you shake it all about and you do the hokey cokey with it, it just kind of sits at the bottom doing nothing. It's just kind of looking pretty. The juices here are, the flavours here are 10ml bottles. Bit of a hiccup there, the battery died there, so I had to give it a quick recharge. We're adding in the lemon. As I said, it's going to be a bit tricky, but it's a 0.3 of a mil and it's straight in, bill. It's just nice and started there. 3 mils. Because there's no exact marking of a 3 mil line, you just kind of hope for the best. And that's the lemon. I mean, I'm only adding in 3 mils of the lemon is because it's quite pungent. It is quite a in your nose flavour and smell. So we don't want to have that too much lemon or too much honey. So it's kind of really just hoping for the best here, and this is why you only make 10 mils to start off, because you don't want to come along and make a 100ml batch of juice that you've never mixed together, you've never tried, and you end up, you make a 100ml bottle or a very large bottle of it, you try it once or twice and you're just like, no, don't like it at all. So you don't really want to get into that. You just want to make a small batch to start with and hope for the best that it works. Now this is the honey, and this is a 0.7 mil drop. Try and keep it level as I put back in here. 1 and 8, about halfway there. Boop. Just making sure I have it all. So So before I go any further, I'm going to recap. I've got the nicotine, the VG and the PG recapped. That's the honey. I'm just going to recap that. These do come with little drip tips or drippers or droppers, whatever you want to call it. Kind of needle nose drop tips on them. But I don't particularly like to use them because I'd never be too sure how many drips is in a mil and how many drips makes up X amount and all that kind of stuff. So I just take it off and then use the syringes to do it all out exactly. I'm going to tidy up these. Don't know where the last one went. Just kind of threw it away. No, found it. I'll keep them handy in here. Just put them away for now. The next step then, if you can actually see that, you might or might not be able to see because there isn't much of a difference in the colour of liquids, but you might be able to see that there's a separation there. You've got the VG at the bottom, and it's separating from, or it has separated from the rest of the stuff because the rest of it is PG. So we put the lid on, put the top on, and hope for the best. Give it a good old mix. It's entirely up to yourself how long you want to kind of shake this around for. I don't know, some people could have their own little kind of blenders or something like this. It could be that the big lads out there, like the big, well obviously the big manufacturers would have blenders for it. And as you can see then, there's absolutely no differentiation there now after doing that. It's still, it's all kind of mixed together there for you. I'm just going to have a quick sniff of this just to see how it smells. It's kind of a quick smell test. Oh, the lemon is very pungent in that. And that wasn't much lemon at all. Gonna leave that for a week. I think it's a week. About a week that you kind of leave them just kind of sit there, let it all kind of meld together, or steep as some people call it. And that'll hopefully allow everything to mix together. Last thing then that I do is try not to ball things up as I rip them, but just for myself I like to make a little label for it. I'll call out this as I'm writing it down, and I'll call out the recipe as I'm writing it down, and I will put it in the section below. So 3.6 milliliters of nicotine. That makes 18 milligram because it's a 50% mix of nicotine. If it was 25%, you'd add in twice as much. If it was 100% nicotine, you'd add in exactly 1.8. So you just kind of sort out the maths like that. We then 0.3 mils of lemon and 0.7 mils of honey. Looks like money there because I can't write. Oh well. It's a 70-30 PG VG mix. So that is of just the propylene glycol. I put in 2.4 mils, because that brings the rest of, because everything else is PG. The nicotine is PG and the flavors are PG. That brings it up to, there's 7 mils of PG in this bottle. So 2.4 PG, and then the last of it then is exactly 3 mils of VG, and that brings it up. That's a 70-30 mix of PG in it. Obviously if you want more in it, you'd add, if you want more VG, so the vegetable glycerin, you'd add in more vegetable glycerin. For instance, if you want to make a 50-50 mix, you would end up putting in only 0.4 mils of this PG mix. You'd only add in 0.4 of that, because that would bring it up then to 5 mils of PG, and then you could put in 5 mils of VG. I tried that, but I found it a bit too thick just in the home brews. So I don't use the 50-50, I go for 70-30. So that's DBX's Honey Lemon. It looks like a kind of a large setup that you might need for it. I keep a lot of the things all together. I've got all the 100ml bottles of nicotine, 100ml bottles of PG, 100ml bottles of PG. But then the flavours, because they can be so pungent, you don't really need many of it. You don't really need you don't really need a lot of it. Apologies. Because it can be so pungent. Some of them aren't as pungent as others. For instance, the honey didn't have as strong a smell off it as the lemon, so I added in more honey than lemon. So I'll leave that for a week. I will hopefully get more 10ml bottles, because it looks a lot better when it's just in a little 10ml bottle as opposed to kind of putting not a lot into a 30ml bottle. But I'll give that a shot then now. This time next week, and I might do a whole video on it, nice little quick video on it, or I might just add in on the comments that might add in at the end that it was a nice mix and it worked, or it's an awful mix and it didn't work. So that's how you make 10ml 18mg nicotine vaping juice. Really stuck for words here now. And that, as I said, is a 70-30 VG PG mix. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, happy vaping.